there wasn't anything out there to solve the steering problems with these vehicles.
We're here today at Apex Chassis, and we're going to talk today to Chris, who's the owner and founder of Apex Chassis, and we're going to talk a little bit about what sets Apex apart and why is this stuff just honestly so much bigger. So when did you guys start out?
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for coming by. We started Apex about just over 3 years ago.
Okay.
We had another company, our family had another steering suspension company that was more full line, 6,000 SKUs, but not really beefed up. We ended up selling that company, and we kind of realized that there's this niche market for 4x4 and off-road products. And so we decided to start Apex and just gear it mainly towards 4x4s and off-roads. So that was the start of it. We cut our teeth with Jeep steering at the beginning. So this, for example, is our 2.5-ton Jeep tie rod. So solid aluminum. Nice thing about aluminum, it's got a lot of flex to it. They can bash that thing into a rock, it'll bend, pops back to straight. From there, we kind of came up with this, style of construction, which is direct thread into a solid connecting rod,
right,
and then holding everything together with jam nuts. So instead of pinch clamp style adjusting sleeves, which are small, they can flex, they tend to rust out. Everything that we build is direct thread into a connecting rod. We also, one of the things that sets us apart is because of our background in building this type of product, we're able to build all the geometry into the forgings instead of a lot of steering companies are tube benders. So they'll bend tubes to work with other aftermarket parts.
Correct.
But a bent tube, it's kind of like an accordion already. It's that there's a lot of flex already built into it. So everything that we do, you'll see, is always a straight connecting rod, all the geometry in the forged ends. So really, really beefy, super stiff for your steering.
So everything is forged?
All the ends are forged.
Nothing is tubular.
Correct.
Nothing is hollow. Everything is just...
These are tubular.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but all the ends are forged. All of our ball joint housings are forged. In our forgings, we're using, like for these ball joints that you're going to put in your truck.
Yep.
SA 1045 in the housing, chromoly ball stud, very specific induction heat treatments. Lots of little details that make it stronger. For example, and even easy to install. So you can see how easily this moves up and down. So not a lot of products move so easily. That's a rolled thread instead of a cut thread. Okay, so they go through these big, it's almost like forging the thread in there. So what could become a weaker part of this ball stud, if you cut that thread out, becomes actually a stronger part because it's forged in there.
Right. What got you into the Super Duty or heavy diesel market too? Because in the end of the day, well, don't get me wrong, but F-250s are not known to be the off-road rock crawlers or anything like that. So what got you guys into the Super Duties?
I guess it was more low-hanging fruit. There was just no other competition out there. No one was really doing anything for the Super Duties. Same with the Ram 2500, 3500. So there wasn't anything out there to solve the steering problems with these vehicles. So
and Fords especially, just like Rams, they have steering issues.
Big
this stuff wears just out. And what I see here is just that the OEM stuff is not horrible. It is just not horrible. But in the end of the day, everybody uses their truck to haul, and it's just big, heavy trucks. So doing something a little bit more heavy duty, or a lot more heavy duty, is very advantageous there.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, someone going from an 80-pound tire to a 350-pound tire.
Yep.
It just puts an incredible amount of strain on the system. So this is our forward steering, on a UD60 axle. So you can see how it all goes together here, direct thread into these connecting rods. We're using jam nuts to hold it all together. So alignment's really easy. You just rotate the center link. It's a left and a right hand thread, so you're going to toe in or toe out. Once you get your alignment right, you're going to torque these jam nuts up to about 200 foot-pounds, and that's going to hold it all in place. Downside to jam nuts is that they can vibrate loose eventually. So you see in the Jeep industry, they all draw a yellow line between the connecting rod and the jam nut, so they monitor that. For daily drivers like Fords and Dodges, we didn't want people to have to look underneath the hood or underneath the front fender to see what's happening with their steering. So we came up with this, we call it our Ninja Starlock washer. So with these, once you get your alignment done, these are clocked so that the square tabs get bent over the center link, and the
Okay.
pointed tabs get bent over the jam nut, and that
Okay.
mechanically locks that jam nut in place.
So it can't happen. What you just said, nothing can wiggle loose anymore.
Correct. Yeah, so it'll stay tight on there.
Can you bend them multiple times if you have to do adjustments?
Yeah, you get about 3 uses out of them.
Okay.
And then but typically, once your alignment's done, it's kind of
Yeah, that's just how it
it's
is.
done.
Yeah.
a couple other little features that we did. So I got the Zap strapped in for transporting, but on these, when you lift the truck and you do a drop pitman arm, the drop pitman arm, it actually, the pitman arm end of the drag link goes down into the pitman arm, which means on the OE system, the taper's the wrong way because it's forged into this housing. So we drill this out straight and we just supply it with a taper sleeve that's reversible.
Okay, perfect. So you don't have that issue anymore.
Yeah. So we spend a lot of time with installers saying, what can we do to make your life interesting, or more, what can we do to make your life easier?
Yep.
And we try and come up with that solution.
And that actually won in 2023 at SEMA.
It did. Yeah, runner up for off-road truck of the year, off-road product of the year.
Yep. And I mean, like I said, the most incredible thing is just the sheer size of the product.
Yeah. You see on a lot of these, OE or some of the other guys that are doing aftermarket products, as they're turning, you can start to see this stuff just flexing, just sitting at the stop sign as they're turning. But this is not going to flex.
Well, and stop turning while the truck is not moving.
Correct. Some other little things hard to see on camera here, but if we could compare this to an OE one, which we don't have here right now, one of the biggest factors for longevity in this product is if we can oversize the ball studs. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So the bigger that ball stud, the more load disbursement, the longer it's going to last. Also, the smoother your steering is going to be. Okay, so in this product, for example, that ball stud's about 3 millimeters bigger in diameter than OE, which that's substantial. That's
Yeah.
a lot bigger.
Yep.
So that's going to last a lot longer in there. Everything's greasable as well. So compared to OE, that's not greasable. Everything that we build will be greasable.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for Jeep guys. We Super Duty guys, we're not known to do a lot of maintenance when it comes to the front end. That's why we have to replace everything when it's bad. But
Yeah.
no, it's a phenomenal product. It really is. Just like I said, the pure size of it is mind blowing, and I don't know how good it comes across on camera, but this stuff is just massive.
Well, I think it's going to, I'm excited to see you guys do work on this, put this in on your project.
Yeah, it will be a fun install for sure. So don't forget to like and subscribe to KC Turbos and of course to Apex Chassis. If you have questions about your suspension parts, we are more than happy to help. The experts, however, are Apex.